Lenore, pleasure to be
Dempsey.
speaking with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, sugar. How are you doing?
I'm I'm really good. I'm super excited for this opportunity to chat with you. I guess
Awesome.
let me open up the floor by asking you, how does it feel to be a part of arguably the best thing that Marvel Studios has done to date?
I'm honored and I'm grateful. I'm excited and I feel a great deal of responsibility to do a good job, to continue to do the good job so that the fans are happy and that we send a really good, strong message around the world that, hey, it's okay to be different. And in fact, isn't that beautiful? We're all in this together. And that's a really good message to be sending out, especially right now.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so crazy because that not a lot of people know that that's what the X-Men were really founded on, like the civil
Right.
rights movement. So I think it is like the message is really timely now more than ever. I'm very curious, what was your reaction when you found out that they were not only bringing the show back, but they wanted you back in the role? Because I know it's my understanding not everybody returns to voice their character this time around, right?
That's right. Yes. Well, 5 years ago, we were at our very first Comic-Con, and they had asked a bunch of the original X-Men to come to New Braunfels, Texas, for a reunion, and it was like 25 years. So we all went. We hadn't seen each other in 25 years. It was a big love-in. It was a love fest. It was fantastic. We even met the writers, the original writers, and director Larry Houston and the Leewalds for the first time. And at the end of that experience, we went for dinner and we said, wouldn't it be nice if somebody was to buy the rights to the X-Men, the animated series, and reboot the series and bring us all back again? And we said, let's put that out to the universe. And we did. And here we are. So we're all a little bit shaking our heads and going, the universe works in mysterious ways, but it must have been listening that day.
That's insane.
I
That's
know.
insane. And so
The most insane part of it is the part where we said, "And bring us back
yeah,
with the show." Right?
well, it's not the most far-fetched thing because I think of like other cartoons, like you can say SpongeBob or even like
Right,
maybe the
that's
anime
true.
department, like One Piece, like the cast, the voice cast is still the same, and that's been going on for almost arguably just as long. So it
Except
is
they
kind
never
of
they
cool.
never went away and then came back, though,
Yes, true. No, 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 of course, of
right?
course.
They've just kept doing it, so
It's no, it's really cool. And then what was it like to have some of the newer cast on board? Like Theo James is,
Yeah.
particular, he's Bastion this season. Well, did you guys was it still like business as usual where you all had to do your stuff remotely, or did you ever get a chance to interact with each other during production of the series or like
Basically, we were doing our stuff remotely and individually. Yeah, because it we started when it was still the tail end of, COVID. And so we were still at the point where we were wearing masks to go into the studio. But once we got into our little booth by ourselves, we'd take them off. So that was the first, like about first half of the first season was like that. And then, because the studios got used to using that we just kept doing it. So actors were in LA, Toronto, Vancouver, and I was in Halifax, Nova Scotia, where I'm actually coming to you today from because I had to come home and visit my family and deal with a few things here at home. My dad had passed away recently, and so I had to come and spend a little bit of time with my mom.
I'm so
And then
sorry to
I'll be
hear
back
that.
in LA. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hard couple of years that way, but we shall survive and we go on, and it's great for me to be able to talk to the fans and talk to them about their losses too, because we're all able to help each other with that.
Yeah, no, that's something that actually like talking about like the timeliness of the show again. That's something that's deep rooted this season that I don't think anybody was really prepared for. I mean, unless you obviously read the comics, but I don't
Right.
think people were like that you guys are willing to go there, especially so soon after coming back off the air. And so like there are so many different moments in
Mhm.
this season that literally like, I could not breathe. And like I truly mean that. Like I've never felt that for any other thing that Marvel Studios has put out, except maybe when the snap happened and the Avengers movies. But this is on a different level. It's like every episode, just when you think it couldn't get better, it did. And
I know.
like, yeah, that's insane. So was there?
It's like I say it's like getting on a runaway train,
Yes,
right?
that's a very
It
apt metaphor.
right? You get on, you're not expecting it, and then bang, you're off and you can't stop. It just keeps
Yes,
going and going and going and faster and faster. But it's amazing. As soon as I read the scripts, I knew strong. And every time I got one, I just couldn't put it down till I had finished. And that goes for season 2 as well. So get ready, buckle up. You're in for a great ride.
yeah, and even in the finale, you can feel them like you said, as a runaway train. Like, they have to kind of pull back the reins a bit to kind of be like, hey, no, 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 we got to save some for season 2, and
Right,
it
right.
ends on like that crazy cliffhangers because
I
that
know.
post scene.
I know. To be continued.
To be continued. Is there anything in particular that you love from this first season that you're particularly proud of, whether it be that you guys managed to adapt for a TV, or particularly with Rogue's arc? Because Rogue is honestly, I don't know why Cyclops is top billed. I feel like Rogue is more of a leader this time around.
Well, who knows? Maybe she'll become a leader someday. I mean, in the comics, she does, right? I think they all take a turn at it at some point in the comics. And hopefully we've got a number of seasons to go. And so, if the fans remain as dedicated and excited about the show as they are now, we could go for quite a while, which would be nice. But, it's a team effort. And so when you see this beautiful animation and the fact that they're able to make our faces look more, having more emotions on them than back in the 90s, for instance, um, the music, the pacing, the direction, the voiceover director, Meredith Lane, these people are at the top of their game. Jake Castorina, Bo DeMeo did an amazing job creating it. And episode 5, he wrote, and getting a chance to really show what Rogue can do, and her depths of emotion and my depths of emotion was a true gift. And I'm really grateful as an actor to be able to do that and to go to those places and be able to present that as a performance to the public.
That's a very good point you brought up with the animation, because the animation is, I mean, the technology is better, but noticeably in the faces, it's
Mhm.
very expressive this season, and I did appreciate that as well. I only have time for like a couple more questions, so I'm gonna ask. You kind of alluded to like the future season 2, and I know there's already like talks of season 3 and beyond. Is there anything you can give us? Is she gonna help? Is Rogue gonna help Captain America find his shield? Like, what can we
Well,
expect
I
in the
don't know,
future?
sugar. I wouldn't be able to say about that. He might have to come and join us if I'm gonna help him get his shield. I can't give away any spoilers about the future. All I can say is Rogue is continuing to be on a mission, and she still wants to get justice for Remy and for all of the other mutants who were killed in the terrible genocide on Genosha. And yeah, you'll have to just wait and see what happens. It's a story. Let it play out.
Very well said. And then I think the final thing I just want to say, it's not a question and more so a message. I know Emmy voting is happening right now. Is there
Okay.
anything that you want to say to voters, a last ditch effort to be like, hey, vote for us? Let me know. Like, anything you want to say at all to conclude.
Well, I'll just tell you that, X-Men has meant so much to so many people around the world. Back in the 90s, when kids, some of them were being bullied, were being abused at home, who felt othered, felt different, LGBTQ members who just were afraid to come out. And our show made them feel safe, that it was a safe space and that they belonged and that everybody belongs to our X-Men community. And that's the message we're continuing today. And sadly, I think the world needs it almost more now than we did in the 90s. You know, these rollbacks of political moves are not good for either the country, for the world, and for people. I mean, gay rights are human rights, women's rights are human rights. So we're all in this together. And I think our show is really important that way and will continue to be so.
Very well said, Lenore. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. Cannot wait to see what happens next, and I wish you the best of luck in everything you do going forward.
Thank
Take care.
you so much. And hopefully we'll get to talk again sometime.
Absolutely.